17th. Authority Board, let's see here. Authority Board Member Martin for roll call. Martin?
Here.
Holland?
Present.
Rivero?
Here.
Let's see, John Dyack?
Here.
Debbie Lewis?
Here.
And Renee Williams.
Yep.
All right, so everyone's here. So first item on our agenda is the approval of minutes from September 17th, 2018. Not for this one. I'd entertain a motion, please.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion by Josh, second by Renee. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Y'all are looking at me going, what the heck's going on? P3, or our Parker Authority for Reinvestment, is our Urban Renewal Authority, and we're having that meeting first because it's a real short one before we go to our town council meeting. So it's just like in the 80s when you were watching TV and you could buy one set of Ginsu knives and you get two for free, that you get two meetings tonight for free. So you guys are lucky.
Two for
and-
the price of one.
Two for the price of one, and nobody liked my joke,
Never
but
knew you
that's
were
okay.
so lucky.
All right, so at this point, it's for public comment on our Urban Renewal Authority. So we'll open up public comment at 7:04 PM if there's anyone here wishing to address the Authority Board. Seeing no movement, we'll close the authority, or close public comment at 7:04 PM. Move to the first item, which is item number 5. This is for resolution number 2018-06. This is a resolution to adopt the 2019 budget for the Parker Authority for Reinvestment and to make appropriations for the same. Mary Lou, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Wonderful.
And good evening, Authority Board. So tonight we are presenting to the board the Parker Authority for Reinvestment 2019 budget. The budget was posted on the town website on October 12th for public review. So just to go over the budget in brief, first of all, the budget is actually broken down online into the 3 districts for the P3. So those districts are the Parker Central District, Cottonwood, and Parker Road. The expenses for P3 are either allocated directly to those districts if they have a direct relationship to either one or two of the individual districts, or in the case of an expense like salaries or administration, those are split equally across all 3 districts. The total revenue as budgeted for 2019 is $2.5 million. Total expenses are $1.5 million. The 3 largest categories of those expenses are the professional and technical services at just under $500,000. The services that are actually provided by the town of Parker through a contract, those are just over $400,000. And then the tax increment reimbursement, which is just under $350,000. The budget shows a budgeted cash balance for 2019 of $2 million. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Okay. Authority Board, do you have any questions?
No.
No? All right, thank you very much, Mary Lou. We'll open it up for public comment at 7:06 PM if there's anyone here to address the Authority Board on item 5A. Seeing none, we'll close public comment at 7:06, and I would entertain further discussion or a motion, please.
I move to approve resolution number 2018-06.
Second.
Motion by Josh and a second by Amy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next item up is item 5B. This is resolution 2018-07. This is a resolution approving the My Mainstreet strategic framework for the Parker Authority for Reinvestment to assist in PAR's implementation of the town of Parker's existing urban renewal plan. Weldy, you will be the performer tonight.
I have to turn on the microphone to
There you go.
perform, sorry. Good evening, thank you, Chair and board members. So the My Mainstreet project was a community effort to encourage the right growth in Parker. It took existing planning and zoning documents with public input and a detailed market analysis to come up with the information in the strategic framework tonight. This process started in February with community engagement, ending in October, and then we have been putting together the document that you hopefully will endorse tonight. The purpose of this strategic framework document is to provide a blueprint for any future developers into what community-supported development could look like in downtown Parker. It is also a guide for staff to use as they evaluate any future proposals for development. But most importantly, it is a guide to inform our future development partners. It includes the market realities, the results of the community engagement that went on since February, and what the approval process is required from the town of Parker prior to developing each site. All the information included in here is based on community feedback and then the economic market study that we had done. The key elements of the strategic framework include property location maps, detailed zoning information for each of the sites. I did want to note that staff did review current zoning and at this time did not find any reason to need to amend any of the zoning documents. And then site profiles that were developed throughout the project. The strategic framework implementation plan, and then how we plan on disposing of these properties as we move forward. This just summarizes Let's Talk Parker, which is the largest tool we use to get the community engagement throughout this process. We had 9 items on Let's Talk Parker. 5 of those were surveys directly to the community. We did have open Q&A, a news feed, and a document library. We had 10.5 thousand visitors to that page. And of those 10.5, 1.2 thousand actually engaged in the project by taking a survey. Some people did just look at the page, but did not click on any of the items, just read the information. And then some visited multiple projects on Let's Talk Parker, and that's sort of where that crossover between engaged, informed, and aware comes from. We besides doing all the online events, we did have some pop-up events throughout the process, making sure we were trying to reach other aspects of the community that necessarily weren't online, kids, families, and differing age groups. We were at the library. We did attend Arbor Day celebration in the park. We did attend the senior stroll in O'Brien Park. And then we did hold an ice cream social before one of the concerts in the park this summer and engaged with varying survey. Most of them were the visual preference survey on what the buildings could look like in downtown Parker. Each site was then developed with what we found were alignment across the properties between what permitted uses were allowed, what the public input said, and what the economic market analysis had. Amenities for the sites were identified by the information we received from the public. For 19801 East Main Street, the alignment came with retail uses, downtown living, single-use restaurant, brewery or distillery, boutique hotel, or professional office. The pictures you see along the side were the pictures selected as part of the visual preference survey. The last step we took once we got all the information was to develop conceptual site plans, taking all the information, and then had a feasibility analysis done on each of those site plans. The site plan that's presented for 19801 was the one that was favored in the community. But the site itself has, in this plan, 36,000 square feet of residential, 18,000 square feet of restaurant on the ground floor, and 110 parking spaces. Based on that development, the estimated annual revenues for the town and the urban renewal were also identified, just based on the economic realities that we had our team provide us. We did not make this up. We had EPS, Economic Planning Systems, develop this information for us. Pace Lot 2 has a similar layout. However, the alignment on this was really more retail and restaurant complex on the site. The amenities that were important to the community were to preserve the view to the Pace Center and have an outdoor plaza space. Again, similar images that were pulled from the visual preference survey. This had 2 conceptual site plans. Both of the site plans were pretty evenly split, that this one was slightly flavored in the community. had some residential on the upper floors with retail and restaurant, and then it added an additional 140 parking spaces with a wrapped parking structure. East Main, the amenities on this site were outdoor and rooftop dining spaces, outdoor spaces with benches, planters, and greenery, and bike parking. Professional office, downtown living, boutique hotel, and retail and restaurant complex were where the alignment on the uses were. We had one site plan developed on this site that had a high favorability within the community. It did add quite a bit more residential and retail to the site and additional parking to support not only this site, but also adds more development for, parking and development for Discovery Park. Pine Curve, this one had a lot of amenities on the site from the public, plazas, designed open space to maintain the view corridor and ample parking. A grocery store anchored shopping district was what was identified as part of the alignment, and some additional medium density housing, which would be the more like townhomes versus condominiums. This had two site plans, conceptual site plans that were done. They were pretty evenly split across not wanting them at all or liking them. So I would say these are just conceptual site plans, but the site itself has the development potential of 100,000 square feet of office space, up to 43,000 square feet of grocery, additional retail and restaurant, and some townhomes, potentially in the long term, maybe a hotel. So with these conceptual site plans, the public feedback, while we're providing them to the development community, will definitely need some more site design before it moves forward. The implementation of the My Main Street project is, again, any future development partners will need to describe how their proposed development fits in to the strategic framework prior to any approvals being brought before Town Council. And continued in public engagement during the land development process, so we can continue to utilize Let's Talk Parker as each of these sites develop in the future and get additional public engagement once we have more real concepts. The property, we will be disposing of the property hopefully starting at the beginning of the year. We're in the process of soliciting a commercial brokerage firm to assist us in disposing of these properties. As they are all publicly held properties, they have to go through a public process for disposition, and this is one avenue to make that happen. However, I will say the 4 properties that were part of the My Main Street process, there will be an additional property added to the brokerage disposition process, and that would be the site adjacent to the schoolhouse. It did not go through the same public engagement as the rest of the sites, so we foresee public engagement being part of that before it develops as well. And with that, I want to thank everybody who participated in this project since February, and I'll have happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much, Weldy. Authority Board, do you have any questions for Weldy?
Just a statement. Kudos to the hard work with the Main Street, and then, just getting this out to the public and asking their opinion and going through it. And I truly appreciate the public's involvement for all those that participated and taking the time to go to these different events or do the online survey so we can get a slice of what the public like to see on these properties. Really means a lot to us.
John?
Yeah, no, I just want to ask Weldy, how many hours do you think you spent on this? It's been overwhelming.
Oh, that thought of that just melts my brain.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, again,
A lot, but it was actually a great process and a lot of fun to speak to the community about it. So.
Yeah, and to echo Councilmember Rivero's comments, we truly appreciate your work. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will say that in the 10 years of elected office I've held, this by far has been the most public engagement of any project that the town of Parker has ever participated in.
And that's a good thing.
Absolutely, that's absolutely a good thing. When I presented this to other municipalities earlier in this year, from across the country. Every single one of them was impressed with the amount of interaction we had with our citizens to really provide them with something that they want. So kudos to you guys for that as well. All right, with that, we'll open it up for public comment at 7:18 p.m. if there's anyone here to address the authority board on this item. Mr. Rogers, you're moving? Does that mean you're going to come down? No? All right, there we go. All right, seeing none, we're going to close public comment at 7:18 p.m., and I'll entertain further discussion or a motion, please.
I move to approve resolution number 2018-07.
Second?
Motion by John and a second by Debbie. Authority Board, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. With that, we will adjourn the Parker Authority for Reinvestment at 7:19 p.m. We're going to reset our tapes. Tom's going to reset his Facebook.